Congratulations on selecting Flame to use with Flutter for your next iOS, Android, or desktop game. Using Flame, you can overlay the Flutter widgets onto your Flame game and access these icon buttons from the Flutter widget library directly. You can also use the Flame components, such as the background music component that is controlling the background music loop in this demo. You can also use Flame to access things like the bounce detection. But first, because you're using Flutter and Flame, you probably want to use the widgets within your Flame game. Most people, like me, start off with Flutter create and the name of the app. So Flutter will automatically create a whole bunch of files for you. And then you'll have this directory. You go into the directory. I called mine default Flutter. You open it up in something like VS Code. So when you look at your Flutter app, it's created for you automatically in most cases. There is this thing, run app. You may have overlooked it. And it's running this widget. The widget by default is called My App. So you may have changed it, but it's here. And in here, there is a build method. So let's go back to how to integrate it with Flame. So the run app does run the material widget. If you inspect the default, it also has a home for the material widget. So the home is generally a scaffold. So the basic Flutter widget does normally return a material app and a scaffold. And so we're just having these two pieces in here, turning it in to use Flutter. You're probably already using Stack with Flutter. The Stack class, which is a Flutter widget, is just a way to layer it. I'm starting off with a stack, and the fit is going to expand whatever is within the stack to the entire space of the stack. And then in here, you just have your widgets for the Flutter. So the first widget is the game widget. And on top of that, I'm overlaying the Flutter widget system. Only thing to be aware of here is that I did set up a variable game to instantiate the class my game here, which is part of the base game. So in my game is the name of the class that extends the base game, and I've instantiated it here as game. So this parameter game, I'm passing it the instantiated object game for both the Flame game widget as well as the menu overlay, which is a standard Flutter stateless widget here. Android default app bar. So emulating a Pixel 3 here, this default Android app bar came out. So I want to obviously disable this since it kind of mimics my motion controllers here for the sprite. The way to disable it is this line here. It's system_chrome.set enabled system UI overlays, and just pass it an empty list. A hot restart won't actually take effect to get rid of the Android app bar. So I'm gonna have to restart. I'm gonna fully quit the mobile app and then restart it. Now with this line in here, system Chrome, I've got rid of the default Android buttons, and my app bar, or the menu system for my character sprite, it now looks a lot cleaner. To communicate between the base game class, which is from Flame, and the Flutter widget system overlay, one simple way to do it is just simply you create a non-static variable, in this case direction, stop, and this is within the base game. Within the main function of your entire app, I've already instantiated game ahead of run app, and this is the key part. So since I already have game ahead of run app, I can now pass it to this menu overlay, which is the Flutter system. So within the menu overlay system, this is just a stateless widget. When I press the button here, right there, when I press the button, I can access the game, which I passed to it. My assumption is that you're using Flame because you like the Flutter widgets. Flame does have its own set of button widgets that you can use within the Flame game itself. So there's other ways to get the buttons on here. That you don't need to use a stack, but this seems a pretty easy way to do the overlay. And you could probably put sliders in and other things in here. We're going to cover these things step by step with the platformer game that we're building. So subscribe to the channel, and we'll be giving more tips and steps on how to use Flame with Flutter to build some awesome and fun mobile app games.